Hello everybody, I'm Travis Edrington. I'm with the Plott Hounds. What was your earliest memory of hearing music and what made you want to do it professionally?
Yeah, for me it was, one of my earliest childhood memories ever was listening to vinyl records with my mom and my dad, my aunt and my uncle. They're the ones who really got me exposed to music that I love. Listening to old Waylon records, old Allman Brothers Band, Willie Nelson, Leonard Skinner, and to me it kind of transferred into a way of making sense in how I communicate and how I exist in the world, and that's kind of what led me to wanting to be in the band and play music professionally.
Yeah, and for me it's just kind of a similar story, just listening to what my dad listened to. He was a big Clapton fan, and you know, he was also kind of an audiophile, so he had this nice set of speakers, and one time he bought the Unplugged video that there is out there for Clapton, which was just an amazing concert, and it was the first time that I was actually able to put, you know, visuals to what I was hearing on the records, and just seeing that really inspired me to want to be a part of that someday.
Oh, and for me it was, I had a friend, I think it was 5th or 6th grade, had a drum kit, and you know, he would play. He played for me a little bit, but it was just cool. Looking at the kit was cool, and it was inspiring to me, and I just kind of fell in love with it immediately for that reason. And then I just decided to pick it up. But we would just like play along to like Bee Gees records or Queen. Another One Bites the Dust.
You want to say anything?
Oh, sure. Now my parents used to travel around in an RV a lot, so we'd go all over the country, and that got me ready for touring. And then there's a lot of time to kill before cell phones.
Yeah, before.
So we listened to music. And
Is that what BC stands for?
before cell phones.
Or cellular.
It's in a nutshell.
What about you, Jeff?
For me, I probably had pretty poor taste in music on my own. As you're becoming a person somewhere around middle school,
Yeah.
I won't admit what records I had,
This is
but
be documented forever. Don't say it.
I will not say
Okay.
it.
Well, you know,
We were all there.
let's be honest.
Similar story there. I started stealing my dad's CDs, and I was like, well, God, you know, you kind of hate your dad when you're in middle school. And then you realize, man, he's kind of like, he has better CDs than me. So he had Eric Clapton and Dire Straits, and that kind of led me down that rabbit hole of first starting out as a blues guitar player, and from there the rest is history.
You guys have toured all over the U.S. and the U.K. What has been your favorite place to visit in the U.S. and the U.K.?
That's a great question. My lord. Favorite place to visit? It's hard to pinpoint in the U.S. It's, I guess for us, really touring is about going out and finding people. And it's kind of, you know, we take the approach of how we tour maybe differently than a lot of other bands. It's we want to go find folks who get inspired by the same things that we do. And we're lucky that our music has been able to take us to some places off the beaten path. Last night we played in this small town called Denver, Missouri. It's an old general store converted into an Opry house. We kind of did a strip back set, and it's just one of those things and one of those performances with the people and what we're able to do musically in that environment that gets us back to our roots of why we all probably started playing music in the first place. And I think a lot of that goes to when we go over to the UK, a lot of it is actually smaller towns. Yeah, we play London, and we'll play Manchester and Liverpool, but I think we get our biggest kicks when we're performing in kind of smaller, more blue-collar towns. It's the people that we connect with. It's where our music connects. It's just kind of how we go about, I guess, really every day, frankly. So.
I could build on that. One thing about last night and that special venue in Dittmer is it's not just that it's a small place, therefore it's intimate. The idea behind it, the woman who runs it with her husband, she has a rule about you're not allowed to talk while the musicians are playing, and she'll straight up slap you in the face.
She'll shush you.
Yeah, she'll shush you. Sorry, Ann. You don't hit people, but she would shush you. So, you know, that you don't find that anywhere. I would be challenged any place in America to have a rule like that, to respect the people playing, and that means the world to us.
Definitely.
Yep.
I'll just add the Womendiddle Festival.
Yeah.
The
in Ohio last year.
Hamilton, Ohio last year was that's just the first thing that comes to mind U.S. wise. That was really a cool festival of up and coming artists.
Yep.
Just a great lineup, and met some cool people. And then the UK, that's a tough one because I had never been over there, and last year when we went, every town is just so cool and unique to us, completely different from what we have in the U.S. So it's a tough call to say that, but like he had mentioned, some of these smaller towns that you come into, and there's so much history, and some of these little towns in the UK that every town was cool, but Liverpool stands out as a really cool city. I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
I'd say in the U.S., I always loved dive bars.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
So Smith's Old Bar tonight here in Atlanta,
Right.
Georgia.
This
cool
might be
place.
the one that totally ties the Nick Rocks.
Well, they're owned by
Right,
people,
right.
so it makes sense.
Stickers, band stickers everywhere. That's really cool. I love that.
But kind of specifically in England, I think it was like Workington and Preston
Yeah.
that were
The old blue collar towns.
Yep.
It's
Just-
called Workington, for God's sakes.
like, it was like
That
more
was a
Pines
cool
boys.
place.
Yes.
Really cool place. Workington, that place, Black Sabbath had played there.
Yeah.
Or something in this little pub we played at. Really cool.
I think we have three requirements: cold beer. Actually, two: cold beer, and electricity.
We hardly even need
The only
that.
two things.
Right.
Buckets we need.
We're gonna say people, but
Yeah, that's not a requirement.
I'm gonna say Red Bull. Red Bull.
Yeah, all right. Gotta stay up.
Is there a place that you haven't visited that you want to in the UK?
Yeah, there is. You know, for however the world works, we have a lot of fans in Poland, and I don't know how that happened, or where that started from, or how it came to be. But we've charted on the radio in Poland, which is very odd. We're very thankful for it.
We're big in Poland.
never thought that would ever happen, or that even could happen. So we'd like to get there one day. We haven't been able to do it yet, but getting over to Poland would be.
I bet you'd love to play in Scotland too.
Yeah, Scotland would be great. Yeah, that's.
He's got a little
Glasgow.
connection.
Glasgow would be
roots.
cool. Great
Yeah.
city.
Why have y'all not like moved down to like Nashville, where like the big country music scene is?
Because you don't need to, and I'm so stubborn that way, you know. And even we've got a lot of friends and musicians up in Minnesota, and I think really across the U.S. It's if you're gonna try to do something, you gotta go to Nashville, or you gotta go to Austin, Texas, or you gotta go to New York and L.A.
It's always somewhere else.
And I think it's horseshit, frankly. Excuse my words. I think there's incredible talent in every nook and cranny across our incredible country. And a city doesn't make an artist, a city does not make a band, a city does not make a song or an album. It's the people playing it. And there's nothing in Nashville that you can't find in Atlanta, or that you couldn't find in New York, or that you couldn't find in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or Whitefish, Montana. You know, it's something that we've tried to pride ourselves on doing things local and using local engineers and local producers and buying into creating a music community where we come from, which is Minnesota, and that's something that's important to us.
And the thing about a lot of those cities is that the environment is pretty saturated, which is a good and a bad thing, because when you're in a saturated environment, it tends to breed a lot of competition, which forces you to be more disciplined. But we pride ourselves on being disciplined without all that, and we don't have to deal with all the noise around it.
And be ourselves and not be
Yep.
influenced by outside sources and try to be like the Nashville sound or whatever that might be.
Sure,
Just do your own thing.
And again, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just
Right.
No, we
Right.
love Nashville. That's
Yeah,
why we're
right.
playing there Friday night. We're playing there tomorrow. It's our next tour stop. And Nashville's a great city. Nashville's got some of the greatest talent the world will ever see. But you don't have to go there, in my opinion, to make it in any industry. Right. So,
Right.
agreed.
How did you go about getting a cat cooler?
yeah, that's a great question. By the way, get yourself a cat cooler.
Yeah, that's right.
We were lucky to be connected with a brand. Reached out through a couple different channels, and they see how much time we're on the road, and we have a tour bus, but we don't have a refrigerator in the tour bus, so we literally need really impressive coolers to keep all our beer cold, which is a priority, and then also food and snacks.
That's this cooler. The
yeah.
beer's that one.
Yeah.
Two sizes, the food one's smaller than the beer one. I don't know how that one works out.
It's like 300 pounds of beer and 20 pounds of food.
But they're a great brand and a great organization. Obviously, it's a kind of blue collar working man's brand, and we consider ourselves kind of a blue collar working man's band. So it worked out well. They sent us some coolers to peruse and carry around this beautiful country we live in, and that's what we're doing. And they're doing a damn good job.
Lifesavers.
Yeah.
The beer cold and the food cold. So take one of those other coolers that spell the Y and throw it away. Cat cooler.
Get the one
people.
That's right.
In early March, y'all were playing softball on ice. How did you know that the ice was thick enough for you to actually play around on it?
Well, the Minnesota DNR would say that ice is never safe.
That's
Yeah.
right. They don't know.
I mean, you don't really know unless you've lived in Minnesota. And I remember that was one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me when I first moved to Minnesota was seeing people walking on water. I thought only Jesus did that. So it was pretty unique, but you kind of get that, you get the feel of it. You know, by March that ice is over 2 feet deep.
They drill and check it,
Yeah,
so
drilling holes and whatnot, and
it's really like
You can drive large trucks across it. It's pretty amazing.
Well, yeah, and if you see a truck over there,
Yeah.
and you're 300 yards this way, you're like, all right, they're gonna go down first.
don't
before
listen
me.
to that.
It's
So, mob mentality.
It'll be fine. We're all going down together.
That's right.
What has been your biggest challenge as an artist?
Gosh, I mean, I think probably our biggest challenge is mainly just logistics and getting to where we need to get to. You know, it's a low margin business. None of us do this because we thought we were going to get rich doing it. You know, but being short to throw $20 in the gas tank to get to the next show, or didn't sell enough T-shirts the night before, came a little bit short on tickets. You know, there's just incredible highs and lows as a touring musician, and the highs are the greatest feelings in the entire world, and the failures are brutal. So it's trying to find a balance in between there, and being away from home. As much as we love being out and about, it's a huge part of who we are. But it's also tough on the folks back home who are missing for sure. So we appreciate you, Travis, and sitting down and chatting with us, and hope y'all enjoy tuning in to the Smith's Hole Bar Green Room.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Tell Sitting like some anybody, stop your friends. You got some